You finally got it. That promotion you've been chasing for months, maybe years. Your inbox lights up with congratulations, your manager pats you on the back, and for the first time, you feel like all those late nights, weekend projects, and careful networking actually paid off. Your salary jumps $800 a month. That's almost $10,000 a year before taxes. Enough, you think, to upgrade your apartment, maybe lease a slightly nicer car. You start telling yourself that this is the reward you earned. What you don't notice is that each of those incremental lifestyle choices, nicer coffee, weekend dinners out, slightly more expensive groceries, are like little taps on a siphon connected to your long-term wealth. They feel optional, even deserved, but over time, they accumulate. The new apartment costs you an extra $300 a month. That car lease adds $400. Dinner with friends, drinks, small indulgences, another $150. Suddenly, your $800 raise is fully absorbed by your new expenses. On paper, you're earning more, but in reality, your capacity to save, invest, or compound wealth hasn't changed. The discomfort here is subtle. You feel richer. You're using the new salary to reinforce your identity as someone who has made it. Yet beneath that sense of success is a quiet extraction system, the economy of lifestyle inflation. It doesn't roar, it whispers. Each decision feels personal, rational, even celebratory. And because it's spread across dozens of small choices, it never triggers alarm. By the time you notice, the damage is structural, not momentary. And it isn't just money, it's autonomy. The freedom to choose is slowly replaced by obligations, monthly bills that must be met to maintain the illusion of upward mobility. You feel tethered to a lifestyle, and any deviation feels like failure. But the deeper cost, the one no one talks about, is the compounding wealth you could have accumulated in those years you spent inflating your consumption. You think about it. $800 extra a month invested in a simple index fund at an 8% return over 20 years grows to roughly $450,000. $500,000. Instead, your upgraded apartment, your lease, your brunches, these disappear instantly, leaving nothing to compound. Every small indulgence seems harmless, but when stacked, they are a system extracting your financial potential under the guise of success. And yet, almost everyone falls for it. You believe you are careful, rational, disciplined. You tell yourself you are saving where it counts, but the lure of immediate lifestyle validation is stronger than your abstract long-term calculations. It's only when you pause, look at the numbers, and measure your trajectory against potential that you feel the edge of unease. But in that moment, the narrative you've built about deserved rewards, about recognition, about earning your freedom, feels indispensable. You sense there is a deeper misalignment, but it is uncomfortable to name. When you look closer, you begin to see the pattern. Each promotion triggers an invisible transfer, moving resources from your future self to your present identity. It's seductive because the system masquerades as choice. You aren't being forced into these expenses, you choose them, and that's why they feel justified. You believe you are exercising autonomy, but autonomy has been subtly corralled. Consider the numbers stacked over a few years. An $800 monthly raise, $850 in lifestyle upgrades. Now you're negative $50 relative to your prior budget. It doesn't feel like a loss because you are spending on things you value. A better kitchen, more travel, upgraded clothes. But the psychological effect is profound. You've trained yourself to equate money with immediate validation rather than deferred growth. Every social obligation magnifies the effect. Your friends upgrade alongside you. Suddenly, skipping a night out feels like a social misdemeanor. Your lifestyle expands to match your peer group. That $50 extra you think you can afford quickly turns into $500 when factoring in dining, drinks, small trips, and gifts. This isn't about gluttony. It's about the system exploiting a natural social instinct, wanting to belong. You start to notice patterns in behavior. Your urge to show progress, to reflect your promotion outwardly, subtly overrides financial logic. It's not greed, it's identity signaling. You want to embody the success you've earned. And here's the catch. The more your identity depends on external affirmation, the more money flows out of your hands and into a system that doesn't care about your future. By now, the costs are compounding. You might not even be aware that your baseline lifestyle has shifted. Apartment, car, dining, occasional luxuries, they seem reasonable in isolation, but together they create a structural drag on your long-term financial trajectory. And this drag is invisible because it's experienced as progress, not restraint. You start asking yourself, is this really a reward or just an extraction engine disguised as success? Let's translate this into decades. The $50 a month you think is negligible becomes $600 annually. If you had invested it at 8% annual return over 20 years, you would have over $2,500. Multiply that across all the justified upgrades, your apartment, car, meals out, entertainment subscriptions, and the lost potential is staggering. The math is uncompromising. Compounding rewards patience, not instant gratification. Every incremental lifestyle choice is a small hand pulling money from your future, and compounding amplifies the effect. Even moderate indulgences are brutal over time. Suppose your $800 raise is partly allocated to a new apartment, partly to a gym membership, partly to new electronics, totaling $600 a month. Invested instead, that $600 at 8% for 20 years becomes roughly $340,000. That's the opportunity cost of your new freedom. And this is assuming you stop inflating your lifestyle beyond that. Most people do not stop. Every subsequent raise triggers another round of upgrades, another invisible extraction. The problem isn't the math, it's perception. Each choice seems rational. Each upgrade seems deserved. And each time you measure success by the lifestyle it supports, you reinforce a feedback loop that prioritizes social and identity signaling over compounding wealth. This is why the long-term damage is invisible. It's not catastrophic in any single month, but insidious in aggregate. You might begin to feel tension here. The numbers are objective, but the emotional pull of reward and recognition is real. You experience stress not because you're financially unsafe yet, but because your trajectory is subtly misaligned. And the hardest part? It feels like the cost is worth it. You rationalize the drag as part of living the life you earned. At this juncture, you face a choice. Continue embracing small, socially validated drains on your wealth, or confront the uncomfortable reality of the opportunity cost you're quietly accruing. Understanding the psychology helps explain why it's so common. Humans are wired to respond to immediate reinforcement more strongly than abstract, delayed outcomes. Raises, promotions, new cars, and upgraded apartments deliver instant affirmation. Compounding returns, however, are invisible. They live in spreadsheets, not in Instagram photos. Moreover, identity bias is powerful. You have built a story around yourself. You are a high achiever, someone who climbs, someone who deserves a better life. Each lifestyle upgrade reinforces that identity. To resist it would feel like betraying your own narrative. Even if you know, intellectually, the compounding cost, the emotional discomfort of slowing down, saying no, or living below your means triggers cognitive dissonance. Loss aversion compounds this effect. Once your lifestyle inflates, reducing it feels like a sacrifice, not a strategic choice. People confuse the pain of reducing consumption with actual financial loss, when in reality, maintaining a moderate lifestyle could have accelerated wealth accumulation dramatically. And then there is social comparison. You benchmark success against colleagues, friends, and neighbors. When everyone around you upgrades simultaneously, restraint feels like underachievement. You internalize that spending validates your identity in ways that investment growth cannot. So it isn't laziness, stupidity, or greed. It's a behavioral trap, the interplay of identity, social signaling, and immediate gratification. Awareness alone doesn't free you. It only sharpens the tension between desire and consequence. Here's the uncomfortable truth. There is no quick hack. No clever budgeting app, no minimalist life design, no 2-week challenge that neutralizes this systemic extraction. Autonomy here is uncomfortable because it requires deliberate confrontation with your identity. You have to distinguish between wants that reinforce your social or professional image and decisions that actually grow your future options. The framework is simple, brutally honest, and psychologically taxing. First, measure the long-term compounding cost of every incremental lifestyle choice. Second, re-anchor your identity away from external affirmation toward future freedom. Third, allow yourself to feel the social friction that comes with restraint and accept it as the cost of independence. Fourth, commit to living below your means not as deprivation, but as deliberate empowerment. If you adopt this mindset, each dollar saved becomes a vote for future autonomy. Each unpurchased luxury a reinforcement of financial sovereignty. You begin to disentangle identity from consumption, realizing that the narrative you live daily doesn't have to be dictated by what earns applause. You gain freedom not through accumulation of goods, but through the preservation of your capacity to choose, to act, to invest. Promotions, raises, and milestones will continue to arrive. Your instinct will be to inflate, to reward, to signal. But when you see the long-term extraction clearly, the choice becomes yours. You can participate in the celebration, or you can redirect the flow, compounding for decades rather than months. That subtle redirection, uncomfortable as it is the truest form of financial autonomy. And in the quiet math of compounding, in the disciplined restraint of choice, you reclaim not only your wealth, but the self-determination that no promotion can ever buy.